guys, my name's Kim and this is my channel Expedition 3 Pages. It's time for TBR Trail for the month of September, and this month I'm super excited because I've got Mo from Paperback Mo joining me today to play the game as well. Before I talk more about that in a second, I'm going to quickly recap on how my reading has gone or is going for the month of August. So the first prompt that was chosen was a black scroll, made it all the way home, and on that scroll was a book that I'd already read, and so as a sort of gift to myself, I decided to pick whatever I wanted, and for that I picked Fool's Fate by Robin Hobb. I have started this, I'm not too far through. I love it though, it's so good. What page am I on? I'm on page 132, and there's still like a week left of August, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to finish this because I absolutely love it. The next prompt, I got read a book with a colourful cover, which was STEM, and for that I chose Cinder by Marissa Meyer, and I did read this and I really did enjoy it actually. It was good. Started off, don't want to say bad, but started off on the wrong foot because it was about pandemic and I was like, don't want to read about this. But actually about halfway through, towards the end, I got super into it. So I'm really looking forward to the next one now. And then another black scroll got home, and on that scroll was First Man, which is a book about Neil Armstrong, and I'm not going to lie, I haven't picked this up and I don't really have a drawer to pick it up because I have already started it a while ago and I just wasn't into it, and so because I keep thinking, oh, I just wasn't into the writing style, I keep being very reluctant to pick it up. So we'll see if I pick it up or not, but it's not looking likely at this point. Then the next prompt was read a fiction book where the surname of the author begins with Y, and for that I chose Everything Everything by Nicola Yoon, and I haven't picked this up yet, but it's quite a short audiobook, so I think I can read it in this next week. So I'm listening to it, so it should be okay to get started with. And then finally another scroll made it home, and it was a blue scroll this time, and on that scroll was Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Lady Taylor, and I did read this as well. I read it over the weekend, just gone, and I didn't love it as much as I thought I was going to, but I did give it 3.5 stars, so I didn't dislike it. It was just didn't blow me away like I thought it was going to. So yeah, I didn't do too badly for last month, I don't think. I think I'm going to finish 4 out of the 5 by the end of August, or pretty much have done it by the end of August, which counts. But I haven't won TBR Trail for August because I just think I'm just not going to get to First Man, which I could call it a DNF and say it was successful, but oops. But I don't even think I'm going to retry it, so I think that's a fail, sadly, for the month of August, which means no buying books in September. If this is your first time watching TBR Trail, then I will link a video down in the description that has all like the rules. I think I updated them in February. The board does look a little bit different. I've added extra bits to it, and I think the only rule change is that I now use 2 dice instead of 1 dice, but I think that's it. So yeah, I'll link that down below if you wanted to check out the rules. But there is one kind of basic rule which I will mention, and that's that there are 4 different teams, each a different colour. Within each team there are 4 scrolls, and the aim of the game is to get each scroll round the board once and home again. So it's basically like Ludo, frustration, trouble. The first team to get all 4 scrolls all the way home is the winner, and depending on what team wins will correspond to what type of giveaway will be done at the end of this really, really long game of TBR Trail. I updated this a bit last month, so I will link down below all the information as to what happens depending on what team wins. I'm trying not to look at it because I'm trying not to be biased with my rolls or anything, and I have actually successfully forgotten what goes with what, especially because I changed it last month. I think I knew pretty much before that, but now I've changed it, no chance of me remembering. So when I link it in the description, I'll try not to pay too much attention to what's going on. I'm going to put up the leaderboard as it stands at the moment. Currently the black team are in the lead with 2 scrolls home, and the purple team are losing because none of their scrolls are home at the moment, so we'll see how that changes throughout this game. There are actually 3 readathons that I want to take part in this month. I'm really excited for all 3 of them, and I probably shouldn't do any readathons because I just don't read fast enough, but I just couldn't give up the opportunity to join in with all 3 of them. And those are Leaderthon, Bookoplathon and Magical Readathon. So I'm going to link down in the description the links to all the creators of all of those 3 readathons, but I am going to go into a little bit more detail at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that if you want to see what I'm kind of thinking I'm going to do with those readathons at the moment. The one thing that I will mention now is that Bookoplathon is actually going to be deciding the order of that I read my books on my TBR this month. And it's also going to be deciding if any extra books have to go on my TBR this month as well, because I need the books on my TBR to fit with the Bookoplathon prompts in order to not have to add more books onto the TBR, basically. And all I'm going to say now is that hasn't gone to plan. And I'll explain more at the end of this video. There are a couple of books that I really want to get onto my TBR this month. The first one is Why We Love Pirates by Rebecca Simon. This is a book that we're reading for the X-Book Club, which hopefully the X-Book Club announcement video has already come out, so I'll link that in the description if you want to see more about that. The other book that I really want to get on my TBR this month is Scarlet, which is the sequel to Cinder. And I'm doing the Lunaralong, which is run by Danielle and Amy from Bookcara and A-Star Reads, respectively. I'll link those guys down below as well for you to check out. But yeah, we're on to the second book and I'm excited about it. I want to get started. So yeah, only 2 that I want to make on my TBR this month. Like I said before, this month I've got Mo from Paperback Mo joining me to play TBR Trail, and I was so excited about this because I absolutely adore his channel. It's really, really good. If you've never checked out any of his videos before, then I really, really highly recommend it. I don't know how Mo does it, but he seems to just make very concise videos. So for instance, his most recent wrap-up that he did was less than 10 minutes, I believe, and he read 10 books, but he spoke about all of those books. It was very clear, very concise, just very short kind of nuggets of information, but you really get a good idea of what the book's about, how he felt about it, and usually he also gives these little nuggets of information as well. Like for instance, if he's read an interview with an author or anything, he'll tell you about it so you can go off and read it as well if you want to, which I really, really like. I really enjoy his tag videos that he does, or any kind of video where it's just a casual discussion as well, because they always put a smile on my face. They're always very interesting, and yeah, he's just an absolute joy to watch. So I highly, highly recommend you go over to his channel and check it out if you don't know who he is already. I will link all the socials down below: Instagram, Twitter, YouTube channel, etc. Okay, so it's finally time to get on with roll number 1. Hello! So it is time for the first go for my September TBR, and as per usual we're starting with Team Black and it's my go first. So we've got 1 black scroll in play and we've got 1 black scroll still at the start. So let's see if we can get that one out on the board, but I need to roll an even number before I can do that. Let's go. Okay, not an even number, so that can't come out. I've got 6, 7, 8, 9. So let's move this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No! Oh no. This means the red scroll has to go all the way home. All the way back to the start, I should say. That's really sad. Oh god. I was so close to being home as well, that little red scroll. Okay, anyway. So, I'm on STEM. I'm on a book, so let's pick from this pot. And I've got read a 5-star prediction. That's a really nice one, but it has to be STEM. I don't know if I have any 5-star prediction books for sci-fi. Oh, actually, yes, I think I do, as long as it counts for sci-fi. Roll number 1 gave me read a STEM book that is a 5-star prediction, which I thought was really good. And I pretty much knew what I wanted to use for this, but I wasn't sure if it was sci-fi, and I looked and apparently it's science fantasy. So I think that works. It's got science in the genre title, and the book I'm talking about is The 5th Season by N.K. Jemisin. I actually don't know anything about this. I really try to avoid, with fantasy novels, finding out bits and pieces of information. I don't know why, but mainly it is just fantasy novels that I seem to do that with. Yeah, I've heard so many good things about this. It won the Hugo Award, and the 2 books in the trilogy, because this is part of a trilogy, the 2 other books also won the Hugo Award. So I'm very, very keen to get started on this trilogy, and very excited that I can pick it for the first prompt. Okay, time for Mo's roll number 1. So we're going to be playing with Team Purple this time. And I got 5. Okay, so all 4 purples are still on the board, and this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Could do a sci-fi, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could do a non-fiction, or yeah, I can't take this one out because it's still at the start and it's not an even number, but I can take this one home, and I think after what just happened to the red team, I am going to do that because it's so close and I don't want to risk getting it sent back to the start again. So little purple guy can go all the way home. But that means that I have to read whatever is on that scroll, but Mo doesn't have to read whatever's on that scroll. So I'm going to pick a prompt for Mo. So let's say if I roll a 1 or a 6, it's from this pot, a 2 or a 5 this pot, a 3 or a 4 that pot. Let's see. Oh no, what did I do this for? Okay, I'm going to scrap that. I'm going to roll with 1 dice. Here we go, 3. Okay, so just a regular prompt, which is lucky. And so, Mo, this is going to be a non-fiction book for you. And, oh, okay, this one is random genre. Mo's first roll, I managed to get the purple scroll home, which I was pretty excited about because purple is in the losing position at the moment. So yeah, let's find out what it is. That down there. This way around. What does this say? Oh, The Good Immigrant. I don't think I have a physical version of this book, so I'd actually forgotten that I have this book. Bear with, bear with. Okay, I'm back. I think I must have it on Kindle because I've checked Audible and it's not on there. So, yeah, it must be on my Kindle. So I'm really glad that it was on this scroll because otherwise, I don't know about you guys, but I always forget what is on Audible and what is on Kindle because, yeah, it's just not in your sight, are they? So if it's been a while, you kind of forget what you bought. But yeah, so The Good Immigrant is an anthology of a collection of essays about people living in the UK who are immigrants and their experiences with that. And it was edited by Nikesh Shukla, I think you pronounce his name. So yeah, I'm really pleased that this has come up because this is a book that I put on my TBR last year and did really want to read. So I'm glad the time has come to get around to it. So Mo, your first choice was a genre pick, and so I have done this for you, but you don't have to use my one. You can totally do your own random genre pick if you wanted to like narrow it down to just a couple of like genres as well to make it easier to fit in with your TBR. Just kind of do whatever you like with it. But I have done my own one in case you wanted to use it from what I got. So I'll put the screenshot up, but I went onto this website, did genre pick, and it chose comedy. So I was like, oh, is that a genre? I don't know if I picked like a movie genre thing. It doesn't really sound like a traditional book genre, but I guess that covers like any genre. It just has to have some humour in it, which is kind of nice actually. It does have to be a non-fiction book though. I keep forgetting that it's non-fiction. Yes, so whatever you choose, non-fiction book. Okay, so for my second go, I'm playing with Team Red, who are very upset because they've got 2 back at home. Just personifying my game pieces. Okay, let's roll 7. Oh, so they can't even come out. Oh gosh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No! What is happening? Oh, I'm not happy about this. The blue's been sent all the way back to the start as well. Okay, but free choice, so that's not so bad for me. That's pretty good. And just a book again. So my books are becoming quite depleted. Oh, and this is read a book that starts with a vowel. I don't know why I'm trying to think about it now because I can't think of any books off the top of my head that start with a vowel, but there we go. That can go right there. My second role was free choice, read a book that starts with a vowel. And so for this, I've gone with Andrea Levy, Every Light in the House Burning. I really wanted to pick up another one of Andrea Levy's books for absolutely ages because I read Small Island by her and absolutely loved it. It was really, really good. I recommend that book very highly. And yeah, this is just one of the ones that I've bought since reading that one. And I believe this follows a daughter and her father who is from Jamaica and came over on the Windrush ship. From reading the back, I think the gist of it is that he becomes unwell and she goes to tend to him, and when she was growing up she actually didn't know very much about his life, so I assume from that it's going to be about her learning about him and his life back in Jamaica and what it was like. That's my assumption, it could be wrong. It doesn't specifically say that on the back, but yeah, I'm really, really excited to get to this one, although apprehensive because I feel like looking after a sick parent and learning about their lives obviously going to be really, really great, but I bet it's going to be sad. I bet this makes me cry. I can already feel it. Okay, so time for Mo's second go, and we're with Team Blue, who were doing really well because they had all their pieces out, but now they're in some trouble. So let's see. 8. Also, I can take him straight back out again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it doesn't take anyone home either. Or I can move this one 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for sci-fi. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for non-fiction stroke STEM. Yeah, I said sci-fi before, but I meant STEM. I'm going to take him straight back out again because I feel that's deserved. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh yeah, it is 8. Okay, so free choice as well, so that's pretty good. And another book. So let's see what this is. And this one is Random Letter Generator. Okay, and that is to randomise the letter to be the first name of an author. So that can go right back there as well. Okay, so Mo, your second roll got you Random Letter Generator on free choice, and the letter has to correspond with the first name of an author. So like I did before, I did do this for you in case you wanted to use it, and the letter that I got was the letter S, so feel free to use that if you would like to. Okay, so now it's my third go, and we're back playing with Team Black, so let's see what we can get here. 12! Oh, I feel like that should mean something. That's like the highest we can get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Free choice or fiction, which is basically fiction. 12 is a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I really want to take it out because I do, but I don't want this cat because that's a difficult prompt. No, the cat isn't a difficult one. The cat takes it out of my hands, and I don't want anything to be taken out of my hands this month because I've got a big TBR that I want, I think. So, okay, I'm going to move this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And it's another book. So, oh, I'm running out of prompts. I've only got 3 left. And this prompt is: read a book by one of your favourite authors. That's really nice. That's a really nice one. And that can go just over here. My third roll is a fiction stroke free choice, which is basically a fiction book. And it was choose a book by one of your favourite authors, which is really nice. Just suddenly realising that I could have picked Robin Hobb because she is a true favourite author. But that's not what I've done because I don't think I'm reading Robin Hobb next month. I think it's October. I read them every other month. Anyway, it's not Hobb. I've gone with an author that I've only read one book from, but that book was my favourite from 2020. And that favourite was The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern, which is right here. Absolutely love that book. And so I put in on the TBR The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I have very high hopes for this book. Very, very, very high hopes for this book. And I'll be devastated if I don't like it as much. But it may happen. I'll just have to go over it. But yeah, the reason that I loved Erin Morgenstern so much is because I have trouble picturing things. When I read, I don't really picture scenes. When I talk to my mum and she's like, oh yeah, I could really see the whole building and see this and see these curtains and I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't see any of that. I just read it. But when I read The Starless Sea, I could picture everything. I felt like her writing allowed my brain to turn it into pictures, which was probably why I liked it so much, to be honest. So I'm hoping that The Night Circus will do the same thing as The Starless Sea did. Okay, so time for Mo's third and final prompt. And this time we're back with Team Purple. So let's see what's going on. 3. Oh, that's so low after 12. Can't take the purple out. So 1, 2, 3, difficult, harsh. Oh no. Or 1, 2, 3, and the blue goes home. Not ideal. I do really want to give you another free choice, Mo. I really want to do that. But I don't want to send that blue piece home, so I don't think I'm going to do that. Okay, I think I'm just going to have to do it because I don't want to send that little blue piece all the way back home. So this one has to move. 1, 2, 3, and the cat goes to these dark blue prompts, which are really packed out, so I obviously really avoid the cat prompts. And this one is TBR jar. Okay, this isn't so bad, but it's in the STEM category, so it does have to fall in the STEM category. But any like sci-fi book, any STEM non-fiction book, just muddle all your books that you want to read up in one jar and pick one. Okay, so time for my final prompt now, which is my 4th go. And we are back with Team Red, who I feel very sorry for right now. So let's go. 5. Still can't take one of these guys out. And now that blue, is it going home? No, it's not, can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Non-fiction stroke free choice, which is basically non-fiction. And another book. Oh, there's only 2 left. I need some more prompts, guys. I need some more prompts. Continent pick. Okay, that's quite fun. And that can go right there. And finally, my last prompt was non-fiction stroke free choice, which is non-fiction, and it was continent pick. So I did just another online picker that was going to choose continents, and it came up with Africa. And I've decided to go with Trevor Noah's book about his childhood, which is called Born a Crime. And he talks about his childhood growing up in South America? No. He talks about his childhood growing up in South Africa. Yes, I've heard very, very good things about this book. I don't really know anything about Trevor Noah, to be honest, apart from that when I'm on Facebook, his little clips of his program come up and I enjoy them usually. But yeah, other than that, I don't really know much about him, so it'll be good to read his book. I forgot to mention earlier that Mo is only doing 3 roles, so that's the end of TBR Trail for now. Yeah, so thank you so much for playing, Mo. So just to recap over them, you got the first prompt was non-fiction book, which had to be a random genre, and for that I picked comedy, but you can pick something else. Your second prompt was free choice, and it was a letter generator that had to be the first name of an author, and for that I picked S, if you wanted to use that one. And finally you landed on the STEM section, and that was a TBR jar pick. So for that you can do pretty much whatever you want that fits in the STEM category. So yeah, thank you so much for playing. I hope you enjoyed. For you guys that want to see what books Mo has picked, I will link things down below that take you to the necessary places that I haven't organised yet with Mo. But yes, I will link it down below somewhere for you guys to find out. I have a really good stack this month. I'm really, really excited to get to my reading. I have these 3 books, all very interesting fiction, and then I also have 2 very interesting sounding non-fiction books as well, so I'm really excited about that. What I didn't manage to get on my list was either the pirate book or Scarlet, which is a shame. Okay, so readathon time. Really sorry if this video is so long, you're like, why am I still watching this woman talk about her TBR? But yes, I've got the magical readathon, which is run by G from Book Roast, and yeah, really excited about this. Really, really excited about it. If you like D&D and you like just living in a fantasy world, then I really recommend you go and check out her channel. I mean, she's absolutely huge, so you probably already know about it already, but I'll link it in the description anyway, and for you to go and check out. Briefly, I think my plans with that is I want to play as an earthling, a fire earthling, but I haven't designed my character yet. Technically, for that readathon, I only have to read 2 books out of the prompts that she has for that this time. So I might talk about that in like a separate video, because it's more of a story, so I might talk a bit more in depth in a separate video about that one. Yeah, so let's just leave Magical Readathon for now. It's a work in progress. But on to Bookoplathon. I was so excited when Becca announced that she was doing another month-long readathon. Basically, Bookoplathon is based on her TBR game, where she plays Bookopoly, which is based on Monopoly. There's not really anything like Monopoly, but she uses a Monopoly-style board. She was one of the first inspirations for me to do my own TBR game, her and Cody from Cody's Book Corner as well. So yeah, anyway, it's really great, really fun to play. And like I said earlier, I'm going to use it to pick the order that I read my TBR in. So like my own TBR game, I'm going to cap it at 4 rolls, but unlike my TBR game, if you roll a double in Becca's game, you have to do another roll, add it onto your TBR. So for instance, if I roll the first roll and it's a double, then my number of total prompts will go up to 5. So I only have to roll an extra 3 times during the month, but if there are any doubles, then I'll have to keep rolling during that one turn and work out the books I'm going to read next. But the first roll will be the book that I'm starting with in the month of September. So I just thought I'd add a little extra pressure to myself. If none of the books on my TBR will fit the prompt, then that means I have to add an extra book to my own TBR. So really hoping that I can fit most of my TBR into that game. Because if not, then I'm probably in a lot of trouble because I won't even touch my TBR. To be honest, it's done me dirty already and I already have concerns about how it's gone. So I didn't film this because my printer's broken and I couldn't print out the board, so I just did it on the computer. So I'm just going to tell you what happened. I rolled my first roll. It was a double 1, so that means I had to roll another time after this. But the prompt that I landed on was Community Shelf, and I made my own little stack of Community Shelf cards, and so the prompt on that was another random letter generator, and that came up as an O. I think any part of the author's name could start with O. So none of these books fit, which was sad. Actually, I never considered The Good Immigrant, actually, because I don't think it works anyway, because obviously I only just saw what that was, but no, that doesn't work. So what I ended up going with was Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. Really excited to pick this up. The only thing I know about it is that it's based around Shakespeare's family, but Shakespeare's not in it, and Hamlet's his son, and that's all I know. But I've heard really good things about this, and I can't wait to read it. I think it's going to be great. So Hamnet is the first book I'm going to be reading in September, which is exciting. However, nothing to do with my own TBR, so worrying. So then I did my second roll because I'd rolled a double, and I rolled another double, so that was bad times for me. I rolled a double 3, and the prompt I landed on was gods. So it had to be any book about gods. Anything, could be about religion, could be about mythical gods. Is that the same thing? I'm not sure. Yeah, so at this point I decided to be kind to myself and say I could add any books that I've already started onto this TBR as well, because again, I don't think there are any, to be honest, I don't know about the 5th season. If you know if the 5th season has gods in, because I've been trying to avoid looking anything up about it, let me know, because then maybe I can read this instead, and that would help me out a lot. So yeah, let me know if there's gods in the 5th season, or the Night Circus, because I also don't know anything about that. But what I've decided to pick up is Mythos by Stephen Fry, which I started ages ago. I was reading it for another TBR Trail, but I got really far into it, and I just think I got really mythed out before I reached the end. So I got to page 268. I've got maybe about 100 pages to go of this, so I'm adding this on as my second read for Becca's Bookopoly, which I've decided is not cheating, because it does help me get through my TBR, and otherwise it will become ridiculous and I will never ever get to this stack. And then finally I did my third roll, and luckily there was no more doubles. I was getting a bit worried at that point that I would just continually just roll doubles for the rest of time, but that was an exaggeration and that didn't happen. And yeah, so for roll number 3 I landed on Myth, Lore, Legend and Fairy Tale, which was perfect because it meant I could put Scarlet on, because Scarlet is a fairy tale retelling, and I assumed that that was what that prompt meant, that I didn't have to fit all of those things in, but just one of them. And yeah, so Scarlet is on my TBR. Yes, it's very good. And it will be the 3rd book that I read in September. So yeah, that is it for now. So far, I've got 5 books from TBR Trail on, and 3 books, technically 2 and a bit books on my TBR from Becca's Bookoplathon. I think I'm going to be updating on Twitter how I'm going with Becca's Bookoplathon throughout the month, so if you wanted to see how I'm going, then I'll link my Twitter in the description down below for you. But yeah, I'm excited. It'll be really fun. I think it's totally not doable. So yes, okay. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really sorry that this was so long. I hope it isn't an hour. I feel like I've been filming for 5 hours. I'm really excited for my TBR. I can't wait to get started on it. How are you guys going with your TBRs? Let me know what you're reading in September down in the comments. I would love to know. Also, if you've read any of these books, then let me know. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you've made it all the way to the end, I truly appreciate it. And I will see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Bye.